I don't know what's going on, but man, I ain't complaining. Man, this is some good land. What do you think? You like this land?
This land is your land. This land is my land.
This is your land.
From California.
No, not California.
To the Badlands.
This is Badlands. This is where Dr. Seuss was inspired. No, it's not true. Oh, there's a stop sign. All right, we stopped-ish. No, we mostly stopped. Yeah, look at that pointy texture. All right, let's see if they have water for us. Hi. So, we finally found a farmer's market that had peaches. Stone fruits. It tastes totally different than what they ship to Hawaii. It's really soft. See that? It's really soft, and it tastes good. I don't know how to describe it, but I mean, obviously, I think a big part of it is when they pick fruit and send it to Hawaii, they got to pick it before it ripens, and then either it ripens on the way or it ripens because of a gas that they give it. And these taste more like, I guess it makes sense, taste more like juice, because juice, they can pick it when it's actually ripe, and then they put it in a jar, and then they can, you know, that jar will make it to where it's going. But it's not sugary like juice. So it's good like how juice is good, but without the sugar that is too sugary in juice. It's very good. I like it. So here we are on the moon? I don't know where we are. It's a lot of that. It's a lot of that. No, Martians. Moon people? And Hallie. You live on the moon too?
Right now.
Fair enough. Nicely ascended.
Yeah, this is much harder rock than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. It is surprisingly robust, considering how crumbly it looks and roady. Found a little Hallie hole?
Yeah. I'll just hang out in here,
Shade hole.
have a nap, or a picnic.
Chewing some rocks. place is trippy. It looks like everything's made of clay and gravel, because it is. But like these walls are just totally like vertical. It's like a paper mache mountain. But I mean, verticality has its ups. Really crazy how everything here is just like, it's like cheese. It's like a mountains of cheese. Cracky cheese. And there's a Martian. There's a moon person. It eats the cheese. Right? Or this thing. This is just about to, I mean, no, I'm not going to pry it off of there because it'll happen in its own time, but everything is just cracked. Everything is just 30 seconds from failure.
It all sounds hollow.
Everything is filled with air. And yet it's kind of permanent. It's a metaphor for life in there somewhere. All right, so see that line right there? A lot of places that we've been, we would explain that by saying that was the layers of ancient sea, you know, that whole spiel you hear everywhere in the West, or the whole of the US, really. And at first, Hallie's like, what do you think that is? I'm like, yeah, I think it's probably sedimentary, but if you look at other places, like up there, you can see, like, that's obviously sediment, that's obviously sediment. Then you look over here and you see this one, and this one is the same as that one, but it's perpendicular to this. That's not what happened. So what we're thinking is that was a crack in all this sediment a long time ago. Clay from somewhere toothpasted its way into that crack, and now it looks like it was laid down in layers, but it was actually just toothpasted. I don't know how to describe it. Like scale on the inside of a pipe. It looks like it was laid down, well, scale is laid down in layers in a pipe. But as the outside layers smear along something, the inside layers keep on going, but they kind of deposit themselves, and so it looks like it was laid down like sediment, but it was just squeezed, injected, if you will. Yeah, so you can, I don't know, you can see the layers up there. So that's our theory. So leave a comment below if you think we're the sexiest geology couple on the planet. The best looking or the sexiest. Let us know which one you think it is. Here. Yeah, there's no one here that we can, I mean, there's cars here. I don't know. Maybe we're 10 minutes early. It's a cool spot though, man. It's a sweet spot. Well, I'm gonna go take a peek and see if I can see anybody up there, because maybe he's up there. So, here we go. Man, this place is beautiful. Check this out. What the hell? What the hell? So, yeah, I think that's what he's talking about. He's like, you see that flagpole up on that hill? He's like, come back in an hour, and then we'll meet you up at that flagpole. I'm like, okay. I'm here. South Dakota. South Dakota, you've been holding out on us. You know what? It's like, don't let them know. Don't tell them how beautiful Chamberlain is. It's too beautiful. Oh, there's a rabbit. Oh, he's gone.
Depot on the beat.
I don't know what's going on. If we don't see anybody, we'll just roll back out of here. I don't want any trouble. Good morning. So, our whole mission last night was to find a place by the river to camp. And we ended up finding it. Here it is. It's a dude ranch. And they have bathrooms. And they have river. Welcome to Sioux Falls. So there's construction on the way into town. There was a state trooper behind me, and he pulls us over. His reason for pulling us over was that I was following the car in front of me too closely. I needed 3 seconds behind the car in front of me instead of the 2 seconds that I was following behind him. So he decided to write me a warning. He asked me to step out of the vehicle right away, which is weird. And he asked me to come over and enter his vehicle, which was weirder. And then he had a giant dog in the backseat, which was the third level of weird. And then he had like a nice chat with me as he was writing me a warning that took like 10 minutes. He was asking me lots of questions. He's like, where do you live? And what are you doing? And where are you guys traveling? I'm like, I like talking about myself, so let me just talk to you. Hi. Here's what I do. Eventually, he's like, so are you guys smuggling anything? Any meth or bodies or cocaine?
Yeah, so
he
many
literally
dead
said,
bodies.
well, I have one dead body back there, but it's my dad, and it's in the form of ashes.
Did you tell him that?
Yeah. Because he asked me lots of questions. He's like, where are you going? I'm like, well, I'm going to Michigan. He's like, well, where are you going up to Michigan? I'm like, well, I'm going to go spread my dad's ashes on a lake. And then he's like, okay, and what, anyway. So I'm like, well, I have the one body in there. He's like, that's not illegal. That's all right. And I'm like, okay, anyway. He's like, yeah, so do you have any heroin, cocaine? I'm like, nope. He's like, LSD? I'm like, nope. He's like, mushrooms? I'm like, nope. He's like, marijuana? I'm like, bales of marijuana that I'm smuggling? Nope. If I take the dog over there, is the dog gonna mark? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm not a dog mind reader. I don't know what the dog is gonna do when he gets over there. So he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna take the dog over there. I'm like, how can I stop you from taking your dog over there? That's the side of a highway. Take your dog where you want to take your dog, Go for it. Maybe he needs to pee. So he takes the dog out, and the dog walks around the whole van once. I don't think he did anything. Then he takes the dog around the van again, doesn't do anything. Then he takes the dog back to the car, then back over again, and now the dog sits down in the back of the van. And I'm like, oh, I think that's not good. Spoilers, we're not smuggling any drugs. Okay. So he's like, he comes back and he's like, so the dog marked. And I'm like, okay.
I wonder if that's normal. If they have to take it around a couple times.
I imagine for thoroughness or something, you got to do things a couple of times, or maybe the dog is just not that smart. No offense to that dog. He's a very nice dog. He barked a lot right in my ear, but otherwise, nice dog. Maybe not that smart, so you got to do like 3 times to get him to like, hey, dingus, do you smell the drugs? And honestly, there's no way there was a strong smell of drugs coming from the van at all. I may or may not use marijuana medicinally. But either way, there's no way there's an intense smoke. We don't have bales of anything in here besides clothes.
Bales of clothes.
This woman has bales of clothes. She's smuggling them across state lines. So they get Hallie out of the van. Then they're like, we're going to go search your shit. I'm like, what can I do? Your dog sat down. Your dog sat. Now you can search. I know how it works. So they go, they search, and then the second cop, they're searching everything. The second cop comes over, and he's like, where's the weed, man? Do you want us to rip through all of your stuff? And I'm like, no, I don't want you to rip through all of our stuff. Mostly her stuff. So he's like, well, we're gonna. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Your dog sat down. Go ahead. Go for it. Go nuts. What am I going to do about it? Anyway, so they look through everything, and then finally they don't find anything. So they come back, and they're like, is that CBD oil yours? And I'm like, no. Still hers? He's like, well, it's okay if it is.
It's mine. It's for my tummy.
Is this yours?
It's for period.
It's hers. It's hers. She's the drug queen. And he's like, it's okay if it is yours. I'm like, it's still not mine. And he goes, well, the dog will smell that. And I'm like, I don't care. Can I leave now? So then we left, and that was exciting. I mean, they weren't mean, but they weren't nice. They didn't care about my garden back home. They're like, what were you growing? And I'm like, papaya trees and tomatoes and weeds.
And beans.
Weeds. And they're like, I'm like, no, like purslane. You know what purslane is? It's a weed. It grows around here, and you can find it on the ground, and people eat it.
It's crunchy and tasty.
It's food and tastes like lemons. And he's like, yeah, I don't know what that is. I grow weeds. Things you would call weeds. I grow them and eat them. Now we're here next to this llama. He's a good pony. He's a pony on a hoverboard.
It's a very balanced pony.
Hallie found the best
source.
The best thing, yes, the best thing ever. It's a coffee shop that also sells taps of beer.
So you can just go and make your own.
Why would you ever leave? You just go there in the morning and you leave there when they close.
They're open till 10 p.m.
It's brilliant.
Amazing. I can work all the time.
So we're gonna go do that, and we're gonna try to get our heart rate down from being stopped from State Patrol, who thought we were smuggling CBD oil, which we were. 2 in 2 days, drive-ins, diners, and dives. Yeah, I did it. Last night we went to an Ethiopian place. I forgot the name. I'll post it here. And today we just went to Bread and Circus. Without revealing what she ate, she will tell you how good it was.
It was good.
Well, I had a burger. And I thought it was fantastic. It was delicious. They had a beer called Pixie Juice or Sauce or Sprite Elixir or something. It was really good. It's from Nebraska. 10 out of 10. I would juice that Pixie again. Namesake of the city. And it's got a sad story, like a lot of industrialized places. This is the flume. They built a dam. That's the top of the dam. And it channeled water into those 2 flumes. And there's the supports for the flumes. And ran down to that building down there, which was the turbine house for the mill. That's the old foundations of the mill. This is Sioux quartzite. It's pink. The roads here are all paved with it. Yeah, this area has it's been changed a lot by mankind. Specifically hetero white men. Not to jump on that bandwagon, but in this case I think that's exactly who it was. I fit that description myself. And I will just say that I see the consequences of their actions. The dam is still there. It's not very pretty to look at. It raises the level of the water. And of course, it never really gets taken out. There's Hallie. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the falls are pretty much the way that they would look. So that turbine house drops straight down, drains down to the lower part of the river, which is right over those falls right there. Right there. There once was a mighty warrior named Bun Bun. Alright, so Bonnie and Clyde we are not, but Austin and Hallie we are. And we escaped the law today from nothing in particular, but nonetheless they're not here anymore and we're still here. And I think that's the way I want it to be. And we made it to Remedy. Here's the remedy. Here's to the That sounds really risky. I would never do that. I would never jump on a crumbly cliff. That's crazy. But fuck me running, as Phil would say. This is a beautiful spot. Fucking amazing.